Hello, everyone. Okay, so they want us to wait like 2 to 3 minutes. But before we get started, can you hear music playing? Can you see and hear me? And do you see a shared screen? Are
I
any of those
see the
things true?
screen. I hear you. I heard the music before, but it's kind of faint now.
Okay, but you can hear me.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really all it matters, anyways. Um, but can you see the screen that I'm sharing? Is it like a PowerPoint? We are CDI.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Really good. Okay. Hey, folks. I'm not going to get started, but one of the things that's really big for me is one, to congratulate all of you on making it to American University. I'm so excited to talk to you all about AU and the Center for Diversity and Inclusion and all the amazing work that we do on the campus community. This is, an invitation to turn on your cameras. A part of CDI's job on campus is to build and sustain campus community. And so if you are willing and able, feel free to turn on your cameras to actively engage with me. We can be in conversation. A few of my students are going to be joining in a little bit to answer some of your questions from a student to student perspective. And I will answer as many questions as I can. So yeah, I'm super excited that y'all are here. Let's give it about another minute or so, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Feel free, again, if you feel comfortable, to put your pronouns in your bio, your preferred name, which you would like me to call and address you as, and just so we can make sure that our space is what it needs to be. And I see some students who are joining us this summer for STEP, so I will see you in a few days. I am so excited. That's so exciting. Yeah, the team is pumped to meet you. I'm pumped to meet you. And I am thrilled to talk to y'all just about the overall work that we do on campus. 1 second. Okay, 1 second. Okay. Sorry, let's go ahead and get started. Happy day, everyone. My name is Stefan Bradbury. I am the Assistant Director for Student Success, Transition, and Retention in the Center for Diversity and Inclusion. I am really thrilled to talk to you all about the work that we do in CDI, the ways for you all to be involved, the way that we support you on your college journey. One of my colleagues should be joining us. Oh, Quinn, there she is. We're so excited that Quinn is here. And then two of our students, Dalvin and Josue, will be joining us momentarily, and they are going to participate in a little bit of a panel, right? So what we really want to do is provide you some top line information about our center and how it fits into the larger student experience and how we support you. And then we want to give you a chance to talk to some of our students on campus. Before we get started, because apparently you guys aren't getting a lot of time with folks, if Quinn can drop into the chat. We haven't done introductions yet, Quinn. As I am saying this, can you drop our email address in the chat so folks already have it, just in case we get to the end and we forget. So again, my name is Stefan. I'll tell you a little bit more about what I do in a second. And on the day-to-day, I get to hang out with Quinn, who will introduce herself.
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Quinn Merriweather, and I serve as the Associate Director for CDI and oversee the student access, equity, and retention pieces to a student's experience.
Mm-hmm. And so for those of you who are coming to STEP, you have been getting a lot of emails from Quinn and I. So Quinn and I are the folks who will manage that program, and we'll see you bright and early on Saturday morning. So there's a little activity that we usually do. I don't think that we're going to have enough time for it, so we're going to come back to it just in case, because I want to give you all a chance to ask questions if you have it. So just about us, what we do. So our top line is to provide education, outreach, and advocacy with a focus on LGBTQIA plus students, first generation college students, multicultural students, women identified students. More and more, our net is widening. We are really a place for people who are hungry for a world of and by and through justice. And so we really help connect our students to frameworks, practices, policies, organizations, communities that help push us all forward. And so these are kind of the things that we do. We do a lot of workshops and trainings, educational program, like dialogue programs. We do a lot of community building, a lot of events, a lot of direct student support, and we spend a good chunk of our time like working one-on-one with students. So there's often times where things happen to you, you may have experiences on campus, or you just need a place where you can be your full authentic self on campus. We're here to help support and to guide you. Our vision, we envision an AU where people of all identities and experience are understood, appreciated, and fully included in the community, and where equitable treatment and outcomes prevail. It's really cool to talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, and I know that so many of you all are coming from places all around the country. I moved to DC from Texas, and so I only look back at Texas and think of the world that students are leaving as they're moving up here. And we have a few students who are moving from all over the country this Saturday. And one of the things that we're mindful of is the spaces that you're coming from and what we want to ensure that you could be coming from. And we want to ensure that our office and our campus community is a place for you to be. So the next little part is us introducing our portfolios really quickly. So I'll just talk about top line of what we do. And when I say we, it's really Quinn and I. So Quinn and I work on the student support side, and our colleagues Danielle and Corey, they are fantastic in the programs and the work that they do. And we'll talk about them in a second. So like I said, my name is Stefan. I manage all of our direct student support. So if you are a first generation student, if you are a district scholar student, a student joining us for the summer transition enrichment program, if you are a Black student, if you are what else do I do? There's so many groups I get a chance to work with. So I think that's pretty much the top line. So if you have any of those identities, if you are just a student on campus who so happens to walk in my office, you are a student that I directly care about ensuring that you have a time at AU that is informative, that is formative, that is empowering, and that's my job in helping you do that. Some of the things that go on in my programs, direct multicultural student support. So we program and partner with student organizations, and that's one of the things that we're going to continue doing in the upcoming year. So as you come to campus and you start getting involved, if you notice in organizations that you join that there is an additional we can't wait to, I see my camera is doing a weird thing. We can't wait to partner with you like we do a lot of our students. I'm gonna first gen, if you're a first generation student, I directly advise the First Gen Student Union, which is an organization that all first generation students can join. They really focus on community building, ensuring that you know that you have a thriving network of folks on campus. Once you get to your second and third years, you're eligible to join the Tri-Alpha, Alpha is the First Generation Honor Society for first generation students on campus. We're launching that this fall, so we're really excited to see that happen. And then we do a lot of direct peer-to-peer support. Quinn, do you mind telling folks what Danielle and Corey do?
Of course. So Danielle is our Assistant Director for Education and Support Programs. So very much a broad kind of umbrella of programmatic opportunities in education when it comes to exploring your own identity and the many threads and intersections that exists in. And so some signature events that Danielle hosts throughout the academic year is the Imposter Syndrome workshop that a lot of students have really liked and enjoyed and found a lot of merit in, specifically because that transition to college, it can be very difficult, and one can feel like an imposter. I don't want to put words into anyone's mouth, but when I think about when I was in college as a first-gen student, I didn't know what I was supposed to do, how I was supposed to be in the spaces I needed to operate. But to have programs like this, it makes that exploration and that journey a little bit more on solid ground, because you know you're not alone. You can share that experience with others. Other programs include Learn Something, as well as inclusive facilitation tools. Really, Danielle tries to create capacity for students to be able to self-author, self-advocate, and use self-efficacy when it comes to making spaces in other parts of their AU journey. So recognizing that we're not one-dimensional beings and we don't operate in silos, how do we take information and transition it, is a really big component to her work. Next, we have Corey. They are the Assistant Director of Education and Support Programs when it comes to LGBTQIA+. And so signature programs that Corey and their work with students in that population are the Rainbow Lounge. This is a safe space for students to come and gather. It's very low risk, whether that's watching television, playing board games, doing homework together. It's a space that is defined by those that are in it and what they need in that moment. They also work to create space across campus to celebrate Trans Day Remembrance, National Coming Out Day, interpartner violence that happens within LGBTQ plus communities, and really just celebrating everything relating to the journey. And so if a student is on the beginning stretches of their journey, or they're in the middle or in the end, or they've cycled through and now they're experiencing something new, Corey works to create a space for students to know that that can be fluid and that is okay. And every day is a day to learn something new about yourself. They also work to create understanding with our campus partners, students, and professionals alike when it comes to gender affirming resources. So helping students that are needing gender or needing housing for their identities within their gender identity and expression, they work in tandem with housing to create accommodations for students so that there's that comfort. Of course, our residence halls are community style, so you share a bathroom. There are spaces across campus where there are private bathrooms that students are given access to so that they can feel safe in the spaces that they need to for the purposes of getting dressed and using the facilities in any way that needs to be used for them. We do work, so we had another colleague that worked with us that was a dual role with Housing and Residence Life. And that was a partnership that allowed us to create space for Black affinity housing. So this is a designated area for students who identify as Black within the diaspora of Black African, to have a space where they can live and be with other community members that also identify as part of that heritage, cultural group, social identity. That space is still available for students, and our partnership continues. It just continues in a different capacity. And then, of course, there's myself. I don't have a unique set of things that I do within my positionality, except I work to create space for students. And so when a student is coming and they're having some work study issues, maybe their work study has run out and they need someone to help advocate to get an increase, that's where I can come in and be of assistance. Or a student is thinking about studying abroad and they want to make sure that the finances line up. I can create space for the student to be able to have conversations to maybe bridge the gap financially that allows them to study abroad. So anything that pertains to your student experience is where I can come in and provide assistance or connection to an office that's going to be able to provide more information to you of what you need to know as you're making whatever decision you're trying to make. And then, of course, we have our fearless leader, and that is Robin Adams. Robin is a former AU alumni. She received her master's here early on in her career at American, but has been a prominent and influential leader in multiple spaces across campus when it has come to the equity, the inclusion, and the access of students that are coming from marginalized populations. Knowing that American University is a PWI, which stands for predominantly white institution, we recognize that this university is not built inherently for students of color. But irregardless of that, there are ways in which we can make the experience as equitable as possible for those that are making the decision to come here, because everyone deserves to have the very best of everything that American has to offer them. And so Robin, through her direction, really works to pave spaces for that to happen the way that we want it to happen, very intentionally and very in tandem with other aspects of the university that are very centric in their student-facing work.
Okay, so there are so many ways to engage with our office. There are listservs. So we send out, and Dalvin, who's on the call now, and as we get ready to transition to our panel, we send out a weekly newsletter during the academic year. So you're constantly, or bi-weekly now, I believe, but we're constantly sending out information how to connect to our office, how to engage with our programs, and how to connect with our campus partners who are doing very similar and aligned work with us. So right now, we mentioned that we have two students that are joining us. So Dalvin and Josue. Both of these students are former STEP students. So Dalvin came in 2 years ago. So he came in the summer of 2021, and he's been working in our office for the past 2 years. He's a business major. He is just such a rock star. And then you have Josue, who came in last year. So he was a STEP student last summer. And so now he's doing marvelous things on campus. And we really wanted to ensure that you all have the opportunity to kind of hear from some former students. So we really want to give you all a chance to ask some questions. So we have about, let's say, like 10 minutes of question time before we have to join the group. Let's not make the time awkward. Feel free to ask any questions that you may have, either to the students or to Quinn and I, because we were rambling at you for a while. So if you're wondering about the community, whether it has to do with our work or not, we would love to answer some of your questions.
Well, if a question that I will ask if the food is good, in my opinion. The food, it's all right. We have new places on campus now. We have Qdoba, we have Panera, and we have like a mini like 2.0 McDonald's, but it's pretty good. So we have a dining hall. It's pretty good, but it's a hit or miss. So you have to pick and choose when to go. But they do have an app that it's down on campus that you can check and stuff like that. And you can check like their menu from breakfast to dinner and like and stuff like that. So you can check when every time anything is open, anything closes. So
yeah, absolutely. So we have one question in the chat about how students are chosen for the STEP program. So over the last few years, the program has actually gone through many adaptations of how and what it is and the students that it serves. This academic year, the program was an invite program. So our admissions team, when students applied to the institution, the admissions folks looked at their profiles, read their letters of recommendations, and looked at the work that our program does to see if the institution believed that STEP could be a nice bridge between high school and entering the university. We're still definitely working with our admissions team to find ways, to filter even more students into the program as we continue to build, to rebuild, and redevelop. And even if your student is not a part of the STEP program, the things that we offer in the program are offered throughout the entire academic year, throughout their entire 4 years at AU 4 years and beyond. And so please do not feel like your student won't get the same type of attention and care that our team provides to STEP if they're not there with us during those 6 weeks. So we definitely continue to, we actually probably bulk up a little bit going into the academic year. Have a message as a student who wanted to attend an HBCU. I was wondering if we ever connect with Howard University. So not in the sense that we have standard programming, right? The schools in the area do find ways to collaborate in times that we need to, right? And so if our students are asking to do that, they're most likely going over to the yard themselves. Or they're planning it. So we haven't really had a direct partnership as of right now, but who knows, that can definitely adapt into change. Let's see.
There was a question about being able to change pronouns or within like the AU system. So we can definitely get you connected with Corey, who can be a partner with you to walk you through what are the different things that you need to think about to make sure that all of your information is correct across all aspects, so academically, socially, and within, you know, the form or the formality of a university that they operate from. It's a relatively very easy process. I'm just not the most proficient to walk you through it, but if you hang back, I can drop Corey's email in the chat, and you can start that conversation, and they'll work in partnership with you, as I said earlier, if that works.
Mm-hmm. Dalvin, the reason I am I'm asking this question to you, LOL, is because as a staff, my relationship to the camp, although I am an AU, I got my master's at AU and I'm about to do an MBA at AU. So I'll actually be doing school with y'all. LOL, can't wait for that. But my experience as a graduate student is different than an undergraduate student. So Dalvin, what would you say the campus culture is like for you?
For me, I'm gonna be a rising junior. Well, I was part of I founded Latinos en Acción is a Latinx club here at American University. We help with we foster Latinx community at AU while advocating for immigrants' rights, mentoring high school students, and serving community, as well as there's clubs of other affinities, as well as we have a Black Student Union. We actually had last semester we had oh my god, this what was this artist? Do you remember the artist, Stefan? I think it was Rich the Kid. Yeah, we had Rich the Kid last semester. So it's active. However, you can pick and choose what to do. We have a great nightlife. The culture itself, though, for minority students, it's a predominantly white institution. But there are programs that CDI provides in other campus life for you to attend, and there is community. You just have to find a way and just be comfortable to get uncomfortable in a campus like this. So.
Mm-hmm. So Jordan had a question about outside of Black affinity housing, what are some opportunities for Black students to engage with other Black focused programs and activities? So one of the things, if you haven't had a chance, I know student involvement, I know ASA is on the call, student involvement has a breakout session. And one of the things that they'll walk you through is Engage, which is a hub for all student organizations on campus. And you'll find organizations for every type of affinity, space, and community possible, right? One of the things that I do or our office does is that we find ways to collaborate with student groups to put together programs. For example, at the first Friday of every month is First Friday. The first Friday of the year in September is always connected to Black Welcome Week. So that's a thing that we do every year on campus. The second one in October is in partnership with our Latinx student organizations for Latinx Heritage Month, right? And that's really my thing. Like, let me connect with the students and the students get to do what they will. And one of the things that I want to add to the piece that Delvin says, community is a thing that you have to be proactive about, not reactive about. right? So as you're engaging in orientation, as you're starting to, connect with your orientation groups or what have you, be proactive, right? Like expand your capabilities, your capacities to meet and engage with different folks. This question, probably our last one, are there any opportunities for undergraduates to work with CDI? Absolutely. One of the things those you always get is at the semester, right? So either fall going into spring, but really spring going into the fall is really when not only our office, but all offices are hiring. And if the Career Center has a presentation, I know they'll talk to you about it, but they'll definitely talk to you about Handshake and the ways that you can get on-campus employment. So yeah, this was a really quick and dirty way for us to introduce ourselves to you. Quinn dropped our information in the chat. Feel free to email us directly or cdi@american.edu, especially on things to make sure that you are empowered and affirmed when you get to campus, right? So please go ahead and already reach out to us. If there are things that are holding you back, like if you need to get in contact with certain departments, whatever you need, we're here to support you. Okay, so everyone have a great night and feel free to reach out to us. My STEP students, I will see you on Saturday. I'm so very excited to see you.